Need the stat sheet tonight. It doesn't even matter.
Can you kind of explain the scenes in the locker room?
I mean, I've been in a ton of locker rooms my whole life, and that's a first for me to have that kind of. It wasn't relief. It was just like, thank God, finally. And guys were screaming. I was almost in tears, and I'm just so happy for our guys. I'm happy for everybody in the locker room. Sometimes it just takes a win like that to get things started, and all the situations that our young guys are growing in. It was pretty cool to be in it and come out on top, even though in the midst of it, if you check my armpits and other places right now, wouldn't. But at the same time, the locker room was just, it was pretty cool. And I just have so much respect for our team, the way they come in every day. I've said it so many times, and I think people may have thought that they were okay with losing, but they came in every day with a great spirit, and they wanted answers, and they came in wanting to learn and try to get better. We rarely came into the gym with a bad spirit. We always had our joy, because we knew that if we put it together, we could not just win one game, but put many wins together. So I just respect the heck out of our guys. Really happy that we finally got a win, because it's so hard to win in this league. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
This may be to be determined, but usually teams learn to win at high stakes games like playoffs or something like that. But could there be some irony in this losing streak? Like, you guys played this is probably the most steady 48-minute game you guys have played in a while. Really no lapses. You got production from everybody.
Yeah.
Even the endings of the last few games haven't been bad. It's maybe been a second quarter.
Yeah.
Could there be some irony in that you learned to win from?
I mean, I
that?
told JD had a help off the corner and gave up a three, and you can drill it in practice, you can watch it on film, but until you feel it, it's hard for guys to learn. We had a number of get-in situations that we haven't had a chance to be in. How physical it is when you're trying to take the ball out on the side and you're just trying to get it in to shoot free throws. It's rare for them to call a foul. We had the one where they grabbed a bogey, but those situations are invaluable. So to your point, we've had a lot of in-game, in the meat of the game, but rarely have we had that kind of ending where it took that long. But that's, typical of a playoff game. And for us, it is a playoff game. We have to grow in every situation.
Coach, how different is practice and team sessions going to feel moving forward after tonight, just with this weight?
I don't think we talked about that. Like, we knew coming into this season that we had to grow in a number of areas: the discipline, the habits, the way we practice, and we've done that. We've had really good practices. We just haven't had the consistency in games to win. So I don't think our practices are going to change. I'd be lying if I had said there wasn't a bit of relief in the building. You're going to feel that for sure, but our guys are understanding. Young guys, 22, 19, 20 years old, playing against seasoned vets. Toronto has a champion in their locker room, and Siakam. You're playing against a lot of experience, and we're learning, how physical the game is, how every possession is important. We saw that in Boston the other night on the road. So all of these experiences are helpful for us, but the practices, I'm sure there's going to be even more a level of seriousness in the practices that we've seen, and then we'll probably raise it a level because we never want to go back to what we just experienced.
Kay, of course, kind of struggled in the first half, shot 1 for 8.
Yeah.
Kevin Knox picked up Stack really, picked up Stack really. I don't know about when we just see guys kind of step up during the spell.
Yeah.
To get those contributions.
I mean, when you're missing Stewie, you're seeing guys like Kay Knox, who wasn't even in training camp with us, you know, and now he's called to start and guard Siakam, you know. Cade had a tough first half, but his second half was brilliant. AB has just stayed with it. It was a segment for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks where he just couldn't buy one. And all of our young guys watched him every day put the work in during practice, after practice. And, you know, those are the experiences that are just as valuable as the stuff that we're learning in games. You know, our young guys are watching a old head who went through a tough time, you know, stay with it, keep a good attitude, and tonight it paid off.
Tonight were some of the most of your shots were coming down, specifically from the free throw line, 35, 40. Just how much was that impact?
Huge. I mean, anytime, you know, Cade and J.I. can get to the line that many times, it speaks to, one, the game was physical. Toronto is a big, strong team. They play physical basketball, but we just kept attacking. And I thought that was really important. So when those guys get to the line, I mean, 40 times, that's 40 times we can set our defense. That's 40 times you get a quick blow. Not 40, but you get the point 20 times. So I think anytime we can get to the line like that, it's beneficial for us, but it fits the athleticism of our team because we have a few guys that can play downhill.
It doesn't show on the stat sheet for Jay, but it seems like he played a really good sport and under control.
Yeah.
Try to do too much.
I thought you know, even in the fourth quarter when he was attacking the paint and finding guys, you know, I forget what game it was, maybe the Brooklyn game, he was just stopping at the free throw line and taking that 12-footer, and they just backed off of him. I thought tonight he made sure he was either going to get to the rim or find somebody on the backside. He didn't stop. And I tell him all the time, not many people can catch you when you're playing downhill like that. But there were times, I forget who it was in the first half. It may have been Jaden. He drove one time and jumped in the air and threw it away. And we just talked about with a team like this with that much length, when you get to the paint, you got to have a plan. And the jump stop is probably more under control. So anytime he plays like that with his speed and he can play under control, it's an advantage for us.
Monty, when you were in the locker room, what were the emotions you saw from the guys? I know they've been trying to stay positive throughout this whole thing.
They have, though. I mean, you're on the plane with us. Our guys are pretty upbeat. There was a sense of relief, for sure. But I don't think there's the proverbial exhale. You know, we know we have a lot of basketball to play. But you could just feel it. I didn't even stay in the back with the coaches. I went in the locker room with them because I just wanted to be with the players and enjoy that moment. They were all talking before I even came in, and then Cade and Jalen came in, and we all just hugged each other. Everybody was like, we were just happy. You know, a lot of people are going to get some sleep tonight.
Coach, throughout this streak, did you feel like you were getting the absolute best from the opposition every night because they didn't want to be the one to lose to you guys?
You know, for me, my focus has always been on the team. I could say some things, and I don't think it's necessary. You write your story. You know what you saw. You know what I mean? You don't need me to co-sign it. You know what you saw. That's why you're looking at me like that. Yeah, exactly.